it's Charles Barkley with Wayfair. It's outdoor season, and my patio setup better be ready to play. That's where Wayfair wins. Patio seating, umbrellas, and grills, all delivered fast and easy. Shop wayfair.ca now.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
Breaking news. Considered. The Elias Macco Show. News Talk Radio. CJAD 800.
Trudy Mason's sitting in. We've been talking all morning about weather because Environment Canada issued that yellow watch for severe thunderstorms in the immediate Montreal area. But the situation is a little bit more, it's a different color alert in other parts of the province, including an orange watch for the possibility of tornadoes to the north and east of the city. I got into a conversation with Kev about this last night because he's become a little bit of a weather nerd, and he monitors some websites and some bloggers and some online people who track all kinds of weather information, who look at models being used elsewhere, and who try to synthesize and make predictions. And there was one particularly dire forecast for Quebec for today that looked rather alarming. And he was saying, you got to talk about this. And I realized I think we've all become very jumpy about extreme weather in Montreal in recent years because of all of the people who suffered property damage. And we've had spring flooding. We've had summer storms. Last month, our friends in Chateauguay, their basement flooded for the third time in 3 years, and so many other people on their street and adjacent streets, same boat. And we all now have this knee-jerk reaction that if it's going to be bad weather, it's going to be bad, damaging weather. And I want to talk about this to the man who's become known as the weather whisperer, Mark Sirois. He's a meteorologist, a member of the Canadian Meteorological and Oceanographic Society. Mark, thanks again for joining us on CJAD.
Nice to talk to you again, Trudy.
Have you noticed this in recent, maybe past 10, 15 years, that Montrealers seem to be much more attuned to weather, much, trepidatious. I'm making up that word. There's a lot of trepidation every time we get a forecast, a possibility of a storm. Are you detecting that too, or is it just in my head?
No, I think you're right. I think I hate to say our day, but we're up there in age, and so I think there was less of this in the media than there is now. So everywhere you look, there'll be a different a blog, some sort of a post or something about it's clickbait. A lot of it's clickbait in terms of dire warnings coming in, and so you'll see more of that, and it creates more buzz. But the conditions from 20, 30 years ago to today haven't changed that much, with the exception of some of the weather patterns that we see. To your point, the more there is in the media, the more people talk about it.
In your view, is there an advantage to having more people learning about meteorology, more people, like you're talking about clickbait, and there's probably misinformation and stuff like that, but do you think it's beneficial for people to be paying more attention and learning a little bit more about how weather forms and what we can expect?
Definitely. I think the more people understand the cloud patterns and what clouds look like in terms of the ones that bring storms and the ones that don't, the mechanics behind what creates a storm. The more people know, the more they are able to see things in a more kind of controlled, without the fear and the whole emotional context to it. But the more people understand it, it's kind of like going on a plane. If you understand how a plane deals with the wind, you become calmer in terms of when there's turbulence. You know that the plane's going to be able to handle it. So the more you understand, the better it is.
What are you looking at for this afternoon, for example? Because I think you look beyond the Environment Canada forecast and data to get a wider view and base your expectations on that. What are you looking at?
So what everyone needs to know is, so we have a special type of day today. We've got the heat, we've got the humidity. So we're going to be in the 30s, anywhere between 30 and 35 degrees today as the afternoon goes on. The smoke that's up in the upper atmosphere right now that's kind of blocking things and making things hazy is kind of working in our favor, because the more sun that you have working on that humidity in the air, the more it fuels storms. So if you have the smoke that's kind of blocking it in some of this high cloud, that helps us. We have a lot of instability. We've got wind shear, which is something that's very important, which means that the winds at the surface are in a different direction than the winds aloft. And when you have wind shear, that helps to have rotation in storms. So that's where the tornado stuff is coming from today. There's a lot of shear that's going to help favor that. And also with the sun, eventually when it does come back, it will allow for rapid intensification because there is a cold front that's going to create lift in the atmosphere. So I'm watching all these things come together. Right now, from what it shows in the models, is that the bullseye for what could potentially become tornadic is going to be between the east end of Montreal and Trois-Rivières area. That's kind of the hot spot right now that we're watching for some of the heavier storms. Not to say that Montreal is out of it, but that's where we think that the majority of the heavy stuff is going to happen. But everyone should be really paying attention because this atmosphere is really unstable, so it could happen anywhere. But that's what I'm watching this afternoon.
And beyond tornadoes, any indication of very fast accumulation? I'm just thinking about all those people who were flooded last month, and hail. So
the thing about the flooding that happened in the West Island last month or a few weeks ago, those were very slow moving storms, and they would just kind of sit and just remain kind of sedentary and just keep on dropping rain. These are pretty quick moving storms today, so I wouldn't worry too much about flooding as a thing. But yes, hail. These conditions are very favorable to hail. Anything from dime size and greater is possible. And wherever the hail happens, especially now that we're in full harvest mode in a lot of rural areas, that's a shame if we get hail that destroys crops.
Mm. Well, I guess there is enough in there to worry about, Mark.
I will just say this, Trudy. If you're a sky watcher, if you see a green hue in storm clouds, the green hue is what supports hail. So if you see a greenish hue in a storm cloud, chances are hail is located in that storm.
So find an overpass to park your car under if you're on the road is what I remember doing when we had that series of damaging hailstorms years and years ago. I managed to pull under an overpass and dodge one of them. All right, Mark Sirois, the Weather Whisperer. Always interesting to get your perspective. Thank you.
No problem, Trudy. Take care.
Mark Sirois is a meteorologist and member of the Canadian Meteorological and Oceanographic Society. After the 11:30 update, what to do if your mortgage renewal is refused.
This newscast is brought to you by Supermarché Acavan. Cool off this summer with fresh, sweet watermelon from Supermarché Acavan. Choose from juicy whole watermelons or freshly sliced, ready to enjoy.
It's Charles Barkley with Wayfair. It's outdoor season, and my patio setup better be ready to play. That's where Wayfair wins. Patio seating, umbrellas, and grills, all delivered fast and easy. Shop wayfair.ca now.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
Hey, I'm Ruby Carr, the host of the podcast Encore. Check out our brand new episodes featuring music from the show that everyone is reheating as we speak, Heated Rivalry. Join me as I go behind the songs that brought Shane and Elia together. I'll tell you the stories of Feist, My Moon, My Man, Wolf Parade's I'll Believe in Anything, and Tattoo's All the Things She Said, and how they all became a part of this global phenomenon. Stream Encore on iHeartRadio, Crave, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Stories impacting Montrealers. News impacting Montreal. The Elias Macco Show. News Talk Radio. CJAD 800.
This may never have been on your radar. If you were one of those people who's always been able to keep up with your mortgage payments, never really got into any trouble with debt and so on, your renewals may have come up and just ticked over. Your mortgage ticked over. You set the new term after talking to the bank. But there is a possibility. It doesn't happen very often, but it is expected to keep happening increasingly often in coming months. A mortgage renewal is refused, and that's when the bank says no. We're not going to renew your mortgage. Sorry. You're out of luck. So this can happen for a number of reasons. And here to tell us more about when it happens and what you might be able to do about it, we welcome certified residential and commercial real estate broker and co-host of Under One Roof Montreal. You hear that every Sunday at noon on CJAD 800. It's LJ Aguinaga. Thanks for joining us, LJ.
My pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
When does it happen that a homeowner finds out at renewal time that the bank is no longer interested in doing business?
As you mentioned, it is incredibly rare to get that to happen right now. The reality is I've seen very few examples of it, but for it to happen, you need to have almost like a perfect storm where your credit score has dropped significantly, you missed a few payments while you were on that mortgage, so you asked for forgiveness during that happening, or your debt ratios are incredibly high right now. So you've gotten too leveraged ultimately. Maybe you got an extra car, maybe you just took on more personal debt, and it's kind of a perfect storm of a lot of these factors have to happen for it to be a consideration. If you've never missed a mortgage payment, I've never heard of somebody not getting renewed.
Clarify for me, missed a few payments. What in your mind, how many is a few?
I'd say more than 3, realistically. If you've missed in the last 5 years less than 3, I don't foresee the bank really giving you too hard of a time unless you have the other things happening as well. Your credit score dropped to below 620, or your ratios are incredibly high, or you've lost employment and all of a sudden they see that all of your debt is jumping. So it kind of plays in the same line of those two.
I'm getting the impression that a refusal is foreshadowed. No one who has missed a few mortgage payments and had to go to the bank hat in hand saying, listen, I'm having some trouble here making the mortgage payment. Can you forgive this one? No one in that position should be surprised if the bank is expressing some reluctance.
Of course. No, the bank has to tell you at least 21 days before, and the bank is a lot more flexible when you're upfront and honest. If you call the bank before a missed payment and let them know, hey, I just lost my job, I'm waiting for the unemployment check to come in, or there was a critical life event, I'm going to need an extra month or 2 to get back on my feet, the bank is usually very understanding. But where people run into problems is they don't call the bank because they're afraid of the conversation ultimately, or they're ashamed. And then the bank finds out when the payment is missed, and then they start chasing after you. And then people avoid those phone calls because, again, usually the shame, or just they don't know what to say. And when you go down that road, the bank has no choice but to start exercising and start looking at what their options are. So if you call them from the get-go and let them know that you're going through a bit of a difficult time, you're going to need a bit of forgiveness, you'd like to renegotiate the amortization possibly to reduce the monthly payment, they're a lot more open to having all these conversations.
That is such a shame, that shame comes into it. I'll put it that way. That and you can think of the circumstances that might put people in that position, a marriage breakdown, which might involve shame of its own or embarrassment of its own, or the loss of a job that might involve embarrassment, all these life circumstances that the
loss of a family member as well is a common one.
Oh, yeah. If that family member is a breadwinner or maybe was the person who paid all the bills and handled the finances and so on. That's true. What is the recourse for someone who has gotten a no? Does this usually come in the form of a letter in the mail?
Yes. Usually you'll get a letter in the mail, and usually you're going to get a few phone calls from the bank as well. In terms of what your best action steps are, it's going to be, first of all, speaking to the bank to see if there's any condition under which they would keep your loan going or renew your mortgage, because the bank that already has that loan is the one that's going to be the least expensive to renew with, because you won't have to go to the notaries, you won't have to pay for an appraisal, you won't have to do all those extra things, and clearly funds are already difficult and tight, so we want to try and save as much as possible. If they absolutely do not want to renew you under any conditions, like maybe adding a co-signer or possibly extending that amortization, things of that nature, then since late 2024, we are allowed to take a mortgage for renewal to any other bank, and we're not exposed to the stress test. So you can possibly try and fix some of these things or find out again from that first lender why they're not renewing. Is it because of your credit score? Is it because of missed payments? Is it because of your ratios? Is it because of lack of income? And then see what you can work on that front to try and get a bank to renew you. Different banks have different thresholds for risk tolerance, and some banks are more open to some of these issues that people have come across, and they're willing to take the bet on you. So those are the first couple of steps. If you do find yourself in a situation where no major bank is looking to renew your mortgage, the next option is to go to a B lender. So if you absolutely don't want to sell your home because for whatever the reasons, you want to stay in that home, you can usually go to a B lender that is a lot more flexible on helping you get a mortgage. They are more expensive. The interest rates are usually about 1% higher, and there's a file setup fee, which is anywhere from 1% to 2% to do this as well. So there's going to be more upfront costs, but this is a great temporary plan to help you, give you some time to rebuild your credit, to fix your situation, usually on a 1 to 2 year term. So if you do see that you went through some difficulties, but you know that you now have a job, you know that the sickness is past, whatever it is, and you need a bit of time to get back on your feet, an in-between lender like a B lender is a great option for you. If not, we can go to a private lender if you absolutely don't want to sell again. Those are going to be even more expensive. We're looking at usually 10 to 12% in interest for a first-rank mortgage. So a lot more expensive. But again, if you need to stay where you are, that is another possibility. And if not, I mean, what I tell everybody is that if really you can't afford the home right now, the best option is to sell the home. You've had it for the last 5 years. You probably have some decent equity built up at this point in time. Let's sell the home. Let's get over this rough patch. And then we'll buy another home in 1, 2, 3 years' time when you're back on your feet. And you will have had the time to rebuild your credit, clean up whatever you had going on, and off you go. And there's plenty of fantastic rentals available for you as well.
LJ, as a broker, you must know which of let's restrict this to the big banks. Are there big banks that are more lenient than others, more they're easier to talk to negotiate with, that they're more likely to be forgiving?
It really depends on your situation and depends on what has been the problem for you. You know, the bank that's gotten burnt because you haven't been paying is going to be the least open to it. But every bank has their own way of qualifying you. So some banks are going to be more lenient on condos, other more on houses, other more on multiplexes. Some are going to be more open to a lower credit score. It really is case by case depending on your situation.
Okay. Well, I guess to sing the praises of real estate brokers, that's where your broker, your mortgage broker might come in, or you'll be able to get some direction, right?
100%. Yeah.
All right. LJ, thanks for your time.
My pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
LJ Aguinaga is a certified residential and commercial real estate broker, co-host of Under One Roof Montreal every Sunday at noon on CJAD 800.
It's Charles Barkley with Wayfair. It's outdoor season, and my patio setup better be ready to play. That's where Wayfair wins. Patio seating, umbrellas, and grills, all delivered fast and easy. Shop wayfair.ca now.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
You've heard the chaos. Now you can see it. Oh my God. Watch all your favorite podcasts from start to finish right inside the free iHeartRadio app.
Gets the blood going, huh?
Catch every laugh and eye roll on shows like the Tom Green Farmcast and Park the Bus. Now with full video.
We're building a ramp for Tony Hawk.
It's the same hosts and the same chemistry with all the hilarious moments you've been missing right on your screen.
Cheers.
Open the free iHeartRadio app, search video podcasts, and tap watch.
The Elias Macco Show. News Talk Radio. CJAD 800.
11:51. Texter says it's very yellow, the sky is at this moment on the West Island. We've been hearing about the wildfire smoke at a very high altitude that's drifted over the city. That's why the air, has this kind of yellowish cast to it. We started seeing that early this morning. We are keeping an eye on the weather, of course, through the day, because Montreal is under that yellow watch for severe thunderstorms, and the regions to the north and to the east of Montreal are under an orange watch for a possible tornado. We heard from Mark Sirois earlier this hour talking about how that storm system is unstable. So we might be in for a bit of a bumpy ride this afternoon. And riding the bucking bronco for us here at CJAD will be, of course, Aaron Rand, host of Montreal Now. He joins me to tell us what's coming up. Hi, Aaron.
Hey, Trudy, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty well.
This is one of those you talked about the sky being yellow, like earlier this morning. Did you see when it was like dark yellow?
Yeah, mustard color is what I said. Looks like
that
mustard.
That was so weird.
Yeah.
I'm kind of getting the sense now, I was just outside, that there are some people running to get as much done now as they possibly can before whatever or whenever this thing actually gets here, if it gets here. So,
yeah,
not bad advice, I guess, right?
My plan on the way home, I just told Cav, I got a couple of stops to make on the way home.
First stop you make before you go home, yeah.
Yeah. Tell me, the weather front and center on your show, I'm assuming, because I think we're expecting the bad stuff to be coming through between 3 and 5. That's the estimate I heard earlier this morning.
We'll obviously stay on top of it. I know there was a big power failure this morning out in Saint Laurent, so we're hoping there's no more of that this afternoon. But yeah, we'll let everybody know what's going on. And of course, if you're in it, because sometimes, we'd be sitting downtown where we are, Trudy, and you look outside and it's fine. And then the texts start coming in. I'm out in Valleyfield or in Vaudreuil or whatever. It's raining cats and dogs here. So we'll let people know where it's coming from when it gets here, if it gets here. Maybe I shouldn't say if it gets here. It's going to get here, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. I think it's pretty sure the greater Montreal area is going to be hit. Maybe not as hard as that. They're talking about how, according to Mark Sirois, it looks as though the worst of it is going to be just to the east of Montreal, between the eastern tip of the island and Trois-Rivières, and that area. But he also said it's an unstable system, so you never know.
Whatever it is, we'll be on top of it, and we'll let everybody know what's going on.
What else have you got going?
No idea, Drew. No. I came across a story a while ago, and I thought this was fascinating. We've been trying to get this guy for a while. So there was I forget, it was in the New York Times or somewhere, which basically said that, leisure time is not the key to finding happiness. So this idea of just, do what you want to do, that will make you happy. His article suggests that's not in fact the case. So I'm very excited to have him on. His name is Dunnigan Folk. He'll join us just after 3 o'clock. For people who missed it, at the end of the show yesterday, we spoke to Benji Greenberg. He is the owner of Jan's Deli. You know the story there. 6 people running up a bill, over $400 and just dining and dashing. I don't know if there's a new development on that story today, whether anybody else has seen these people anywhere. Obviously, the video's up. I think a lot of people have seen it. So we'll replay that interview with him to explain exactly how it happened. Chris Labos is going to join us, talk about a couple of stories in the news on the medical side today. And Annie Bergeron-Oliver from CTV. Hey, Trudy, it's almost noon, right?
Yeah.
What's new in the Strait of Hormuz?
Oh,
is it open? Is it closed?
Who's
do we
controlling
own it? Do
it?
they control it? So that's what she'll be talking about at 3:50.
Who do you have to pay the toll to?
Really? Yeah,
is it going to be 20%?
Yeah. Will it be a fast pass? If you have one of those, do you get through without waiting? Yeah, be a lot of
but you need a
questions.
transponder for that, Aaron. You need the transponder.
So basically, if you're crossing the bridge to go to Terrebonne, you could probably get through the Strait of Hormuz because everyone has a transponder there, right? Should be a piece of cake. Okay.
All right. Looking forward to that show. Thanks very much.
Have a good one.
Aaron. I'll be back in a sec.
It's Charles Barkley with Wayfair. It's outdoor season, and my patio setup, that'll be ready to play. That's where Wayfair wins. Patio seating, umbrellas, and grills, all delivered fast and easy. Shop wayfair.ca now.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
Listen, and you're there for heart-wrenching knockouts.
World's biggest stage.
And breathtaking triumph. 2026 FIFA World Cup. The knockout stage. Every match, every moment. Listen on TSN Radio. Join the globe on the road to the July 19th final. 2026 FIFA World Cup. Stream it all live on TSN Radio. Available on iHeartRadio. The Elias Macco Show.
News Talk Radio, CJAD 800.
The voice of Montreal.
Our listener, Dave in Hudson, had a great line about how the air looks, the sky looks, because of that very high altitude smoke drifting in from wildfires. Says it looks like Grey Poupon. It's a Grey Poupon sky today. I love that line. So classy. classier than my looks mustardy line. All right, I'm bringing Maxime Cadotte, content producer of the Elias Macro Show, in now because I'm springing this on you, Maxime.
Go ahead.
We talked today to the Morbleu people about their award-winning rum, their rum cacao that has chocolate notes in it. And I said to Max earlier, maybe what we could do is do a little series for the summer where we highlight Quebec products that might be kind of unsung, maybe under the radar. I mean, I had not heard about a cacao flavored rum being produced here in Quebec until I saw the release about them winning that big blind taste test against international competition in San Francisco. So it's kind of under the radar here, but we should talk more about local products, and maybe we'll start a little series. What do you think?
I mean, for sure, it's always interesting to learn about new and other alternatives, right? We've been talking throughout the show, and our question of the day was about the elbows up movement, right? Going towards the U.S. and more people are going towards the U.S. According to Statistics Canada, are you trying to be more elbows up, still keeping that elbows up? Is that fading off? So again, with that means Quebec products trying to buy a bit more local. There's some stories that we've been seeing about. There's the rum. I know there's a story in the Journal de Montréal La Presse that we're looking at about some ice cream companies as well in Quebec trying to rival with the big businesses around the world. So yeah, I think anything made in Quebec. If you have any suggestions, you can shoot us a text.
It's Charles Barkley with Wayfair. It's outdoor season, and my patio setup better be ready to play. That's where Wayfair wins. Patio seating, umbrellas, and grills, all delivered fast and easy. Shop wayfair.ca now.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
The newest tracks. Let's go. New music. And the next big thing.
Always on the new music first.
Your first place to hear it all.
'Cause you gon' like it, love it, wanna play it twice.
Playing now.
iHeart New Music. Your digital station for brand new drops, fresh finds, and tomorrow's bangers.
I think we need something new.
Discover iHeart New Music. Always fresh, always first. Stream now on the free iHeartRadio app.
790-0800, and we can see what we can do.
Great idea.
We should mostly do rum, though.
Oh, yeah.
And do taste tests.
You're hoping for the free samples,
That's
aren't
right.
you, Jay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mostly rum, I think.
I can see where the thinking on that is going. I guess I will then, I'll save this idea and spring it on you another. I'm thinking, Tommy Schnurmacher used to do Cool Jobs, Cool People. I think we should do a series, Cool Jobs, Tough Jobs. Because I had an experience with a guy whose job I'm sure is very, very tough, but he was so nice to me. So nice and so helpful, and it made my day. And so I'd like to talk to people who do kind of tough jobs. They're interesting jobs, but tough. So, okay. What do you think? We'll work on that too, eh, Max? Yes. Yes, Max says. Yes, Trudy. Yeah. Max does, by the way, all the legwork for the show. Max does the research. He lines up the guests. He's a fantastic resource on the Elias Macro Show. I'm so happy to be working with him this summer. Also, in master control, keeping the show from flying completely off the rails, is Jay Ferrara, and I appreciate him greatly, too. Thanks very much, Jay and Max. Folks, have a great afternoon. Let's hope we ride out this unstable weather without too much damage. Stay safe.
The newest tracks. Let's go. New music. And the next big thing.
Always on the new music first.
Your first place to hear it all.
'Cause you gon' like it, love it, wanna play it twice.
Playing now.
iHeart New Music. Your digital station for brand new drops, fresh finds, and tomorrow's bangers.
I think we need something new.
Discover iHeart New Music. Always fresh, always first. Stream now on the free iHeartRadio app.